Okay, first, thank you for having me today. As you said, a tech guy. I started programming when I was 15, and I was in 95 or something. 90s, something like that. All right. Is about to talk about the cybercrime fighting, but from a tech point of view. I would like to give you hopefully some new insights in what our capabilities are today. I will try to give you a glimpse of what did we do 20 years ago, what do we do to keep relevant? So, what's up? So, my background, I'm head of at the digital forensics section at the National Cybercrime Center. We have our headquarters here in Oslo. We are part of the National Criminal Investigation Service, that's NCIS. What we do is we assist the... all right, hang on. That's it. Okay, sorry about that. This is our headquarters, based in Oslo. Brand new building, quite nice. Actually, we started building and expanded a few weeks ago, and in 2 years we will move the rest of the NCIS into this building. My unit section is in the 6th floor, and when you will see some pictures, photos of what kind of equipment we got in that laboratory, you will wonder, why did you build such a laboratory in the 6th floor when the building is waving? Well, I won't answer it. It was not me to decide. All right, the NCIS, the National Criminal Investigation Service, that's investigation, not intelligence, all right? We are a special agency for fighting organized and serious crime. And just to give you a picture of what we do, in broad, we are 750 people. Half are police officers, half are engineers and other kind of non-police professions. Half are men, half are women. All right, we are expanding. When I started back in 2002, we were like 200. Now 750. My experience is that all kind of public services for security investigation and such are expanding rapidly. All right. So for the Norwegian police, we are the national point of contact for international cooperation and police work. We assist all the police districts with the kind of crime that need special competence, equipment, and stuff like that. Well, NC3, which is 1/5 of the NCIS, we have given a mission. Our mission is to be the national capacity to combat cybercrime. Buzzwords, I know. Online child sexual abuse. You know, the Europol, the European Cybercrime Center, in their definition of cybercrime, child sexual abuse is within that definition. We should and will contribute to the increased awareness and knowledge about the cause of crime in a digital society, but, and where I come from, capacity to preserve digital evidence. So therefore we have this laboratory, which have become quite advanced. Well, we are 6 sections. I don't. It's not necessary to dig or dive into the organization, but the digital forensics section is one of the 6. Well, digital forensics. What we do? Well, copy data as evidence, analyze, prepare a report, give to the investigation team. Done. Well, digital forensics is from, as a discipline from the forensic science discipline. You also got the digital investigation, and sometimes we do, the tech people do some kind of investigation task, and sometimes the police officers do the forensic tasks. So these days it's been a mix. For us, it's very important to follow a few principles. Order of volatility. Are you going to dump the RAM before you turn off the computer? You should. The credentials are still very, or not still, but today it's very important to get the credentials before you leave the crime scene. Chain of custody. Everything we do is supposed to be trackable, reproducible. We should, all kind of tasks we do, it's important for us to ensure the data integrity. Well, you can think, if you come to a crime scene, a live crime scene, well, there are a lot of computers. You are going, maybe it's some cybercrime attack. You will do some incident response. But at the same time, our task is also to preserve the data. And because our exam is the trial court, all right? So we need to, what did we do, how did we do it, and ensure that everything was done as forensically sound as possible. That's very important for us. So, fancy animation. Copy the stored data, easy. Dump volatile data, easy, maybe, often. Volatile data is often the step into the cloud to decrypt the data. Nothing new. Well, I jump to mobile phone acquisition. That's where we have been very, how do I put it? We have succeeded a lot because as having the national capacity for data acquisition, it's not only in the cybercrime cases, it's in the murder cases, in robberies, and all that kind of serious crime. Different levels of phone acquisition today. Manual extraction, logical, well, that's easy. Hex dumping, JTAG, other kind of interfaces. We look at the PCBs or external whatever, exposed something interface. Chip off is not used very often anymore. What is chip off? Well, do some desoldering, heat the PCB up, and the chip will go off. You can then, but hey, it's many vendors, many interfaces, many protocols, but yes, we do a lot of them. But chip off, well, today, as you know, hardware encryption is by default on, turned on. Also, you got encryption and all levels of software, stuff like that. So you got to be better. Micro read, all right. You can do some special equipment going deep into the ones and zeros. And level 6, what is that? I will try to give you a glimpse in what it can be and how we work to develop and innovate those levels. All right, fancy animation. Often we have to dig inside. Often we got damaged or broken kind of devices, so we are become experts to fix what is a broken glass and all that kind of stuff. Well, extract the data. That's also easy. Or here. Yes, they are random components only for the animation. So when we got the data, we reverse it. What do we use? Well, IDA Pro, all that kind of free tools out there, maybe some own tools. Well, you know this, I guess. How many of you have done reversing firmware from modern smartphones? All right, you didn't know. Okay. Or you won't tell me. Okay, but it's today it's like finding the hole, jump through it, jump over the fence, because there are security measures all over the place. Okay. As I said, live forensics. I meant computer forensics. Today it's at a crime scene. It's balancing of doing live forensics and the incident response. You cannot turn off the computer. You cannot shut it down, because then the opened drives which are encrypted will well, you'll lose the passwords, the session keys. You lose your access into the data. What we are able to do as a police, we have by law different police methods to for evidence gathering. We can ask companies to give us the data. We can well, all kind of stuff. We can do lawful interception. What is that? Well, we can tap the phone. We can tap the internet wire if it's very, very serious crime. Also, a few years ago, the Norwegian police got the ability to do what is called some kind of surveillance at the device itself, because if you tap in the middle or outside the tunnel, you won't get the raw data. So what we are able to do is hack the phone, hack the computer, some kind of software in there, then read the data. Is it easy? No, it's not. Can we do it? Yes, we can do it. But I won't tell you any more stuff about that. My point here is that the forensic tools itself is not enough to get the access. You need to have all kind of police methods. And the main point here is that if police is meant to have ability to fight crime, you also need the tools or methods to do so. But of course, you have to guarantee privacy and all that kind of stuff, which is also very important. So balancing privacy and police methods are, of course, important. Well, back in 20 years ago, it was kind of a bunch of tech people did a lot of stuff. Windows 95, well, that's kind of easy. FAT32, kind of easy. And each investigator or tech person could do or handle a lot of different exhibits or devices. There was Nokia, Ericsson, and stuff like that, or vendors of phones. What we are experiencing now is that they are so specialized, so we need a team, one person fixing the software, firmware, maybe the only interface, the JTAG, and it's so advanced, it needs to be updated. One person is to fix the device before we open it, and stuff like that, and we need a coordinator to coordinate all. So we have changed our way of working, the way of, well, nothing new, but still it's a challenging for an organization to adapt. All right, a lot of fancy animations. How does it look for real? Okay, we have a laboratory in the 6th floor, as I told you. It's about 800, 900 square meters, something like that. It's ESD all over the place. We have shielded the different functions of our workflow. In this picture, we have a special room for handling dirty stuff, or I mean, we get exhibits, devices from all over different crime scenes. DNA, fingerprints, we should preserve them as well. That's another department, but still, in this picture we see a simple SD card, but it's from a bad accident, and the police believed there are some photos in there describing what happened. All right. Well, we use some acids to remove the plastic. We are soldering thin wires directly to the storage component, but it's easy. Well, this is easy because it's so large. What we will see further on is that things are becoming quite small, miniaturized, and we are talking about micrometers, nanometers, and stuff like that. Okay, so kind of a laboratory put together with all kind of equipment, not for forensics task, but for production, for reversing, for failure analysis, and stuff like that. All right, here we got a phone, took everything out, I mean the PCB, the main board, and we had to remove broken components and do some hot swapping, or not hot actually, but cold swapping, resoldering in order to make it work again, so we could read out the data. Well, as you see, sometimes modern chips today are multi-layered. What if the data is stored inside the middle layer and the wires are not exposed outside the chip? Well, we need to get inside. We can do some in-circuit data read. As I saw the fancy animation, quite easy. But of course, as you understand, it's very challenged to have the tech people to constantly be updated on all the standards. It's not easy to get the standards details as well, because, well, we have good relationship and cooperation with a lot of privacy companies, but still they protect also, because this is company confidential stuff. So that's a challenge too. When things are really bad, it could look like this. Is it possible to read data from heavily burned stuff? Sometimes. We have a motto that we never give up. It's possible. We cannot say upfront it's impossible. All right? Broken device from another accident, and a boat with the navigation problem. Interesting challenge. What happens when electronic components are exposed to salt water and air, oxygen? Well, it will start to change, or so you have to be quick. You have to do it in the proper way. It's a good advice to transport all the components in the same environment stuff, like the water. Take a big bag, or not a bag, but a box with the same environment, and bring it. And when you expose to air, then clean it well. I won't go into that further. This is more, okay, a bunch of devices. Well, an example of, what is this? Some sport watch, tracking health data, GPS. The question here was, murder case, all right, when did the heart stop to beat? Well, then we had to reverse this one. We took the hardware apart, the firmware, software, and everything, just to reverse the data formats in order to try to find out the specific timestamp for when the heartbeat seemed to stop. Okay, why is that important in an investigation? Well, if you are not sure when the time of death occurred, it's important to narrow down the time period of time for other kind of evidence gathering. Like so, if you thinking like reducing months to days or minutes, that's important. You can focus and narrow down the investigation. Actually, this was it looks like everybody can do this, except that there's a lot of protection mechanisms from the vendor side. So this is actually a quite advanced glitch attack we did. Please don't tell the vendors, but of course we protect how we do it. And the question, if we find some kind of vulnerabilities, we find a way in, do we tell the vendors? Do we tell the vendors? No. I don't think so. But we can. We are obliged to do it if there are serious stuff, if there are systems that are critical for some reason. Of course, we tell. That's important. This kind of stuff, nobody will. We don't expose our ways of doing what we actually did. That's not the point. We can tell the vendor. The vendor can also. We can just say, well, we got this dump. Can you help us, please? Or we will reverse it anyway. Can you please help us? Well, yes, we can. So often they do. Not always. They don't. All right. I won't tell you about the glitch though. But we needed a Faraday room certified for 40-50 gigahertz. We had an interesting setup for the side channel attack and the glitching. Actually, the Faraday room, we bought it for doing live forensics on equipment that is functioning, all right? So the signals, the online communication is not possible. But what we found out that when we are doing some very low level signaling in the, it was cancelled, or it was polluted with signals from the railway, from the subway and everything. So we are doing a lot of stuff inside the Faraday room now. So opposite use. But okay, what am I actually talking about? Well, today it's for us about getting access to the data from the technical point of view. So you can, of course, through internet, you can get evidence. You can have through software, through hardware. Okay, nothing new. But forensics to us and data acquisition is about finding vulnerabilities, all right? Then the digital forensic discipline is starting to mix a lot with other kind of disciplines, like cybersecurity and in general. And because we need to develop new methods to defeat or bypass the security protection mechanisms in order to do the data acquisition and follow the traces online. We thought 10 years ago, is device hardware forensics very important because everything is in the cloud? Yes, as a stepping stone or as an entrance to online data, it's still very, very of high value. So, can we do all this kind of stuff alone? Oh, I don't think we should. The public and the private cooperation and collaboration is very important. I saw that many nice companies are paying for hosting and for the sponsors. And I also saw a mnemonic I got for my kid. I got this reflex, and thank you for that. NC3, the National Cybercrime Cybercrime Center and Mnemonic, we have an agreement. We are cooperating, and because we see that you cannot fight cybercrime alone, of course, and what I will go into now is not a private-public collaboration and partnership, but with more academic non-profit organizations. How can we, where do we get the money from? Okay, except from the tax money. Well, we identified the European R&D programs for funding. Have you heard about those? Horizon Europe, 95 billion euros. That is a lot of money. We found that if we go together with our equivalents, our similar cybercrime centers throughout Europe, we could apply for or ask for money if we had a good reason for good challenge we need to solve. There's also another funding fund we identify, which will contribute to reach high level of security in Europe, in particular by preventing and combating terrorism, radicalization, serious and organized crimes, and cybercrime. All right, that's a lot of money too. So what we did, we get together a bunch of mix of law enforcement agencies, academics, and 3 private companies, not in Norway. Well, our aim in this project is to develop new forensic models and methods for accessing data by bypassing security features in modern mobile phones, non-invasive, semi-invasive, and full invasive. 10, 15 years ago, we wouldn't even tell any about this. There's something going on, change. This is wide open. Our project is soon to be completed in this October. We have done it for 3 years, and all the results are downloadable. You should probably visit this website, read the papers, a lot of very good stuff, and it's probably state-of-the-art into this field, which is public available. So this has been an interesting trip for us. It also interesting to see what the focus points are at the other organizations as well. X-Files, all cool projects need a very nice name, you know. So extracts forensic information for law enforcement agency from encrypted smartphones. X-Files, Trust No One, Fox Mulder. That's the TV series, all right? Okay, second project. We are in the middle. That's also, that's not the device itself. It's combating encrypted communication platforms used in the organized crime and give police investigators access to the decrypted data. That's a simple abstract. For law enforcement agencies, non-private, non-academic. We haven't published anything so far, but that's also kind of interesting. That's more into the cloud, you know, so that's interesting. And the third, that's forensic reverse engineering of silicon chips. Norway is one of the most digitized countries in the world. We see a lot of modern electronics as exhibits in use by the criminals. We cannot have a low ambition. Our ambition is to be able to extract data from whatever that comes on our table. So this aim is we are perform fully invasive operation on leading edge semiconductor devices, develop necessary tools and methods to attack the hardware chips, chain of trust, and advance the capability of extracting user data from highly integrated devices. Okay? And we are going to publish a lot of stuff there too. So I'm wondering how the industry will react upon this. It's kind of interesting that the European the EU are funding projects like us. At the same time, they are funding projects that will protect them, build better security. Of course, and that's important, but it's a cat and mouse kind of game. Well, that's interesting. And we just started this last week. So we look forward. But how can we deal with it? What kind of equipment do we have to support this kind of project? Well, we established a nano lab. We bought scanning electron microscope with the focus ion beam, lapping machines, ultracollimators. We had a lot of stuff from back in the days, and now they're all coming together to work on a very small scale, physics scale. All right. We build a room. It's anti-vibrational, anti-noise, anti-everything. Because we are in 6th floor. Not my idea. So, example. Well, we got some kind of electronic device. There's a chip. We need to get inside. We use the micromill, acids, whatever, to remove the or get physical access. We could put it in the X-ray, the 3D scanner, and we could dive into it. So we have the equipment, but the competence, how is it possible to reverse this kind of very advanced technology? Well, we need a good plan and a framework for innovation, and that's what I talked. Then we found this funding and the projects. Okay, so other kind of equipment, the Faraday room I showed you, the micromill, CNC routers, 3D scanners, and this is only a few. So it's been quite advanced. 20 years ago, we had one IDA and SCSI cable. That's it. Now we are here. Very advanced. Okay, one case I'm allowed to tell you about, but not too very detailed, just to have you a short glimpse, because now I put a lot of focus into physical devices. And this case, a lot of people or other sections has, of course, worked in this. Well, the cyber attack on Norsk Hydro, have you heard about it? Did we believe it could happen? No. Did it? Yes, it did. 18th of March 2019, late night, the ransomware Lakagoga was detected. All right. The attack affected the production worldwide. Almost all factories and production lines had to be isolated and put on manual control. Imagine being ICT personnel or manager or whatever in such a situation. Well, we got notified quite fast, the same evening and morning, and received information with very, very good cooperation. They was actually, they have 35,000 employees. They are factories in 40 countries. On every continent, and so on. Here, for fighting cybercrime, it's borderless. You have to have the international cooperation. We are Europol and Interpol are information hubs. Europol also have the cybercrime center facility, and in The Hague, we organize the cooperation. Of course, a very big case in a very few slides, but still. The main focus is to collect information through the hardware acquisition, through online acquisition, and also cooperation, data from others too. There were a lot of command and control servers, live forensics. You cannot shut it down. What about the network forensics? All disciplines at once at not only, well, one crime scene, but systems all over the world. So cooperation between technical people and the police officer, investigators, the money trail, ransomware, money, how do you track the money if it's encrypted? It was easy back then, but now with crypto money, it's a more difficult task. But still, we identified that in Ukraine was a hotspot for the bad guys. So we have a very close and very good cooperation with the Ukrainian police, even if they, as you all know, they are in a very difficult situation, but still they are heavily cooperating and in this operation as well. We actually caught the bad guys here. We had, and there was a big targeted operation in Ukraine and one other country. We participated and we found a lot of stuff, and during the investigation we also found the keys to the Locker Goga and Mega Cortex ransomware. We derived the decryption key from the software found on the bad guys' computer systems, and we put together a script, drove over to their headquarters. Here's the software, decrypt, here we are. And they did, and it was a success. But the company lost 800 million Norwegian kroners. That's their cost. But very early in this stage, they said, we are going to fight, we are not going to pay the ransom money. So our experience from this investigation is that cybercrime is very time-consuming, but someone has to do the investigation. If you are doing incident response and clean it up and fix and just just go further, or then someone has to do the investigation. So therefore we exist. We also do a lot of prevention. You cannot arrest all bad guys in the world anymore. You have to do a lot of prevention. All right. In this case in specific, we know how it happened, who did it. We have the individuals in custody, and we are still seeking. The trial is soon to come, and we found the decryption keys. It has cost a few years of investigation, a lot of money, and almost half of our people. One case. In the meantime, from 2019, there has been several almost similar attacks, but they are prevented. During this investigation, we found a lot of details about other attacks ongoing, and we provided and shared all the information, so they for prevention purpose, of course. Another international investigation. I won't say a lot about that, but there's a high ransomware. When ransomware is becoming as a service, it's a big case. FBI is the main lead. We have assisted because there are Norwegian companies hit by this one, and we are assisting the local police and doing the analyzing or investigation and analyzing the seized infrastructure and data. So probably more to come, but still very interesting. I won't mention what companies or public services. Okay, from 10, 15 years of fighting cybercrime and murder cases and all kind of stuff, what have we learned? Well, these are some lessons or observations, so take it for It's kind of experience-based, non-academic, but I hope you will have some insights about what we do and why we do it. And in this final chapter, well, in non-particular order, all right? Balance the innovation and production. Rapid development of new techniques is impossible if the same group of people have to manage these techniques. All right, the ability to simultaneously explore and exploit enables us to adapt over time. Me, as the head of the section, need to balance when should we produce, I mean help in the cases, and when should we do innovation and components or training. It's a two-sided dilemma. Case production using known techniques for the production, innovatively find new techniques for tomorrow case production. There are a lot of history companies who didn't understand this one because they did a lot of production, they forgot the innovation. All right. Number 2, you're only as relevant as your latest discovery. When new techniques are like fresh produce, at some point they will go bad and become irrelevant. Sharing new information is the key to obtaining new information. You have to bring something to the table to get something from the table. Number 3, it's good to have friends. When everyone is working to solve the same challenges, a joint international effort is the only sensible solution. Borderless. Fighting cybercrime often means fighting a high-tech, organized criminal activity across borders with unequal legislation, resources, and regulation. Number 4, big data is here to stay. The amount of data to be acquired, filtered, analyzed, and transferred will only increase. We have experience using the transformers technology, you know, the ChatGPT stuff, for training with a large language model for in the Norwegian language and put it inside a lot of case documents. That's kind of interesting and powerful technology. Not intelligent, I know, but it's a very nice way of search after or quickly find the needle in the haystack. Okay, so number 5, the technological evolution will determine your focus areas. Therefore, we are focusing all the hard stuff that are hitting us through the cases. In order to stay ahead in the game of cybercrime, you have to continuously research and develop new methods, techniques, and knowledge. Yeah, this is known stuff, but anyway. Number 6, encryption is mostly bad for law enforcement. Encryption makes data harder to obtain. However, once decrypted, the data may prove extremely valuable. We have seen that in many cases. Criminals talk openly on encrypted platforms and consider them very safe. But it's very expensive to defeat security mechanisms. Number 7, 0 days, O days are hard currency. Finding vulnerabilities, finding an exploit and weaponizing an exploit will provide you with an extremely useful and attractive solution. Commercial tools are not always up to date. It's like a sawtooth function. Okay, and many are quite expensive. So number 8, the best defense is a good defense. Researching and the reverse engineering a system to find vulnerabilities could prove to be time and money well spent. Disruptive actions become a valid police strategy. Too many criminals to fit in jail. Like I said, prevention is here also to stay. Number 9, burn bridges in the right order. In digital forensics, it's order of volatility. But here, there's usually more than one way to solve a problem. Make sure you don't close the door on one approach before considering considering potential consequences. Stay true to long-term goals. Don't be too short-sighted. In these times of difficulties, it's easy to say good long-term strategy is to be short-term. But again, think what you're doing. Going in for landing. Number 10, don't ignore outreach and prevention. Sometimes a non-technical solution is the best solution in a cost-benefit perspective. Outreach and prevention activity, too many criminals, to jail again. Number 11, invest in bright minds. That's you guys. Provide a work environment where creative can prosper. Advanced digital forensics and digital investigations require skills which are few in supply and high in demand. Number 12, respect the values of your own data. Algorithms are fed with data in the data-driven world. Respect and understand and protect your data. Don't underestimate the consequence of data compromise. And number 13, I know the buzzword, AI. AI is also here to stay. The reward is a function of regulation and legislation, understanding and actual application. Kind of deep, but still, new possibilities for law enforcement, new possibility for criminals. The matrix is one step closer. My kids said, Dad, you're stuck in the matrix. No, I'm not. And that's it.